Hi everybody, my name is Nisha and I'm the founder and instructor here at LaBelle Hair Company. If you are watching this video, that means that you already watched part 1, which is how to properly identify if you have dry scalp or dandruff. And this video is going to be part 2 on how to actually control it. Again, if you are watching this, that means you watched part 1. If you didn't, make sure you stop watching this and go watch part 1. The link is definitely going to be in the description below. Today's topic, we're going to be speaking on how to control your dandruff or dry scalp, whichever one you're experiencing, even if you're experiencing both. If you are watching this video, I'm going to assume that you scheduled your appointment with your dermatologist and they medically diagnosed you. If you have not, please make sure you go ahead and do so, because I do not want to be held responsible, nor do I want you to think that it's okay for you to go around and self-diagnosing yourself with any type of dandruff that's out there, because there are different ones. So you definitely want to make sure specifically which one it is that you're dealing with, so your regimen is going to be specific to you, not anyone else but you. Before we start speaking on the actual product recommendations that I would give you if you are someone experiencing dandruff or dry scalp, I kind of wanted to do it different this time around and really just start with a quick story time on how I was able to transform my client from having flare-ups every 3 days to now she's able to go 1 to 2 weeks without having an actual flare-up. In my client's particular case, I'm definitely going to show you guys before and afters, as well as text messages that me and my client were going back and forth and sharing, because I want you guys to have a clear view on exactly what it means when you are trying to control your actual scalp condition. This is not going to be a walk in the park, so I don't want you to think that the progress that I'm going to show you or the progress that I'm going to be speaking on has happened overnight, because it hasn't. And one thing that I do want to stress is when it comes to you finding the right product that's going to help control your flare-ups, you need to make sure that you're consistent with that product, because what's going to happen is if you stop using the product, your flare-ups are going to come back to becoming more frequent than how they were before you even found the regimen. So you have to keep going. Remember, you cannot cure the scalp condition, but you can control it. With my client today, we're just gonna call her Jane Doe. She'll know that I'm speaking about her because she'll see the actual pictures and she's given me permission to do so. Now, prior to her meeting me, she had to go through shampooing her hair every 3 days. Her flare-up would actually start mild around day 1, which it'll be her hairline, which will start to flare. And then around day 2, she'll start to experience her flare-up in the back. And then by day 3, now her flare-up is completely active to the point where she is starting to experience low self-esteem when it comes to having the actual flare-ups. The reason why she's experiencing low self-esteem is because certain hairstyles, unfortunately, she's not able to wear them due to how frequent her flare-ups will come into play. She wouldn't be able to wear braids because by day 3, the braids are going to showcase the actual flare-up that has taken place. There's not going to be any way to actually hide them. And when you're going out into public, who wants to see big flakes on their skin, or better yet, on their scalp? Because you know that it's there, you'll start to feel like everyone else is gonna notice it. Even though it could be small and unnoticeable, if you know, you're gonna think everyone that looks at you is just staring at it. She was experiencing her flare-ups every 1 to 3 days. On the 3rd day, her flare-up will become very active to the point where she was no longer able to disguise the fact that she was experiencing a flare-up. Her flakes were visibly large. All of her flakes would end up combining to be one around her hairline as well as in the back of her head. I'll show you guys pictures on both sides of how the flare-ups were. So once she actually found me and we're going over her consultation and everything, I'm explaining to her that she has to understand that there is no cure, and not only that, all of this is not going to happen overnight. Unfortunately, within today's time, a lot of people want progress overnight, but when it comes to your hair, not even your hair, but your body, everything in general, nothing is going to happen overnight. So you definitely want to make sure that you remain consistent, as well as paying attention to everything that's going on. The very first thing that I recommended to my actual client was for us to have to go cold turkey. Now, when I reference going cold turkey to all of my clients, they say, what exactly are you talking about? I'm going to explain to you what I mean by going cold turkey. When you go cold turkey, that means you have to stop doing everything that you're doing to your hair. The reason why I tell my clients to go cold turkey is because this is your first time meeting me. 9 times out of 10, this is your first time embarking on your natural hair journey, to the extent that I'm gonna have you embark on the hair journey, because you have to make sure that not only are you being consistent with me, but you're paying attention to your hair once you walk outside of the salon door. So with that being said, I explained to my client that she has to go cold turkey, meaning she needs to stop using all of the products that she's currently using on her hair. Because I don't know her and this is her very first appointment with me, we have to slowly but surely add the products back into her regimen so we can properly identify exactly what it is that she uses that's going to cause the flare-up. The reason for flare-ups can vary. In this case, I don't know if her flare-ups are because of the hair care products that she's using, or maybe it's because she has a high stress level. I don't know that. But in order for us to figure that out, we have to really just eliminate everything that she's doing and start from scratch and slowly but surely build onto the regimen and see what exactly it is that she can tolerate and what she can't tolerate. We were able to successfully go cold turkey, and one of the things that we were able to pinpoint on why she was experiencing a flare-up was because of the products that she was actually using. If you are someone with dandruff, more than likely you already know exactly what I'm about to say. When it comes to gel, it's going to trigger your flare-up to become active. Using gel could be gelling down your edges because you want to actually have them sleek and straight, or it can be in the sense of when you're using products getting your hair braided. Any type of gel can cause you to have a flare-up. We ended up finding out that was one of the reasons why she was having a flare-up. Another thing in regards to her flare-ups was the use of hairsprays. Hairspray can also trigger an actual flare-up when you are experiencing dandruff, and we had to eliminate that as well. We couldn't use any hairsprays, we couldn't use any gels. Literally the only thing that we can do when we started her off with her regimen was use her shampoo, conditioner, and the type of treatment with her hair, and see if these 3 things were going to work. And that's literally all she did for the first 60 days, just to kind of see if there was any type of turnaround. Again, remember in the beginning of the video I stated that none of this happened overnight. So even though her flare-ups started around day 1 and then they became most active around day 3, it took us time to build her hair up to the point where it was able to tolerate the actual products that we were using. The main thing that you do want to make sure is, if you are someone experiencing dandruff, you want to make sure you're using products that are pinpointed or targeted towards the hair challenge. In your case, it would be your dandruff. So you're wanting to use products that help towards dandruff. In that case, we were able to recommend her to use the anti-dandruff system, which we do offer that. And if you are interested in purchasing it, you can definitely go ahead and purchase it on our website, which is going to be www.labelhairco.com. I'll have it in the description box, as well as I'll put it in the text on the video as well, so you can see exactly what it is. But in terms of the anti-dandruff system, it's a 3-step system. It comes with shampoo, conditioner, and the oil treatment. The way that you use this system is going to be imperative to the type of results that you're going to see. When it comes to my actual client, I put her on a strict regimen where she wasn't using anything but these 3 products. For 60 days, she would use nothing but these 3 products. And with that being said, we were able to build her hair up to now identifying the fact that it's okay for these products to be used on your hair, and it eliminated how frequent her flare-ups were. With her actual scalp condition, she went to see her dermatologist and she was diagnosed medically in regards to what her scalp condition was. If you don't have history with seeing a dermatologist, I'm going to explain to you how it goes. Normally, they'll ask you questions, kind of like a consultation, to see exactly what it is that's going on with your scalp. What is it that you're noticing? And then from there, they'll go ahead and sometimes they'll do not sometimes, but more than likely, they'll perform a biopsy on you to see exactly what it is, to pinpoint what it is that you have. From there, once they get the diagnosis back from the biopsy, they'll go ahead and recommend a certain medicated shampoo or a particular product to you for you to use that should cause your flare-ups to become less frequent. In that case, my client went through that step, but one thing that she didn't like was she didn't like the smell of the shampoo, nor did she like the fact that she personally felt like the shampoo stripped too much of her hair. So in that case, she ended up stopping the use of the product that the dermatologist prescribed to her. Because when you go and see a dermatologist, they're definitely going to prescribe something to you, whether it be a medicated shampoo or they'll maybe subscribe a topical cream to you. It just depends on your scenario. Everyone's scenario is different. Now, with her stopping the use of the actual product, now her flare-ups are back. In this case, when she comes to see me, I'm being completely honest with her. There's a possibility that the regimen that I put you on may work. There's a possibility that it may not work. But before I put you on this regimen, what I do want to ask you is I want you to go ahead and schedule an appointment with your dermatologist again, and then explain to them what I explained to you during this consultation and see if there's anything that they want me to tweak within your regimen, so therefore it can help. In a sense, I'm working side by side with her dermatologist, making sure that her dermatologist is approving exactly what it is that I'm using on her. So therefore, we can alleviate the possibility of side effects, even if it's just by a little bit. Because again, you don't know if you're allergic to something until you actually come into contact with it. Now that we've gotten the approval from her actual dermatologist, I was able to come up with how should she use the anti-dandruff system in her regimen. I'm going to show you guys exactly how the anti-dandruff system looks, how you would receive it in the package, as well as what comes with it, and then hopefully this will be able to help you guys on your journey as far as controlling your dandruff. These are the 3 products that I recommended for my client to actually use, and this was a part of her regimen. Like I stated before, it's going to be the anti-dandruff shampoo, the anti-dandruff conditioner, as well as the anti-dandruff oil treatment. Now, once you receive the actual product, you will notice that there is an envelope listed in the back of the actual packaging. With that being said, when you pull out the envelope, you'll notice that it is sealed. So you'll have to break the sealing on the envelope. Inside of this envelope is going to be your hair care regimen. Everybody's regimen varies, so it depends on exactly what it is that you're dealing with that's going to determine what type of regimen that you're going to be put on. This is just a generic regimen. Now, when it came to my actual client, the regimen that we put her on was we started her off with a pre-treatment. The pre-treatment actually consisted of us mixing the anti-dandruff oil treatment with the actual anti-dandruff conditioner. What you are going to do is you're going to put the anti-dandruff conditioner inside of a bowl, squirt it inside of a bowl, and then you're going to pour some of the oil treatment into the bowl. Next, you are going to mix it up, and then you're going to apply it directly to your scalp. I only want you to apply the conditioner and the oil to your scalp only. We're not worrying about shampooing your hair right now. The purpose of this is just your pre-treatment, kind of like a pre-poo treatment, if you'd like to name it that. But when you're applying this to your scalp only, you're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. You can pin your hair up, you can put a shower cap on. After that, you can go ahead and do some cleaning, you can cook dinner, whatever it is that'll help your 20 minutes go by fast. You'll put this on your scalp and you'll let it sit for 20 minutes. After your 20 minutes is up, then you'll go in and you'll rinse this out. Again, you're not worrying about the shampoo process. This is strictly just to be applied to your scalp only. Once you've rinsed this out, next you are going to start your actual shampoo process. Now, when it comes to your shampoo process, I always have to let my clients know the purpose of the shampoo process is to actually strip your hair of any product buildup and dirt. Your first shampoo is always going to be triggered towards your scalp. When you apply the shampoo to your hands, squirt it on your hand, let it lather, and then you go ahead and apply it directly to your scalp. This is going to strip your scalp. So any loose flakes that are on your scalp, you're going to be removing them with the shampoo. You're directing the shampoo directly to your scalp only on your first shampoo. For your second shampoo, you're gonna squirt some into your hands, lather, and now you're going to focus on applying it to your actual hair strands. Now, once you've applied it to your hair strands, depending on how much product buildup you have, you'll more than likely be shampooing your hair anywhere between 2 to 3 times. 3 times if you have product buildup, only 2 times if you don't have that much product buildup. Now, in her case, remember, her flare-up starts every 3 days. So she would be shampooing her hair twice a week. Quick disclaimer. If you have been watching the videos that we have on our page, you may wonder, in another video I said frequently shampooing your hair damages your hair. And now in this video, I'm saying she shampoos her hair twice a week. Both statements are true. And the reason why both statements are true is because depending on the scenario, your shampoos can vary. The reason why she's shampooing her hair twice a week is because she has a scalp condition which needs to be controlled. And until we're able to control it, we have to program her hair to the point where it's used to receiving the solution or her flare-ups. So until we're able to get her scalp used to being treated, we're going to have to follow the path that she's already on. So because her scalp is so used to being shampooed twice a week, we have to keep that up until slowly but surely we'll be able to eliminate doing it twice a week. So now we can do it once a week or bi-weekly in that case. In this case, she wouldn't be shampooing frequently a lot. We just have to build her up to the point where she's able to go longer periods without shampooing her hair. After she has shampooed, she's going to rinse her shampoo out with lukewarm water. The reason why you're going to rinse your shampoo out with lukewarm water is because the water is going to help open up your cuticles, which are going to allow the removal of any product buildup, debris, or any dirt. Next, she's going to go in and she's going to apply the conditioner to her hair and scalp. With the conditioner, she's going to allow the conditioner to sit for anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. And even while the conditioner is sitting, she's going to make sure she's detangling while the conditioner is in her head. Once she has conditioned her hair for 10 to 15 minutes, next she's going to rinse her hair out. This next step is going to be crucial. After she has rinsed out the conditioner, she's gonna rinse out the conditioner with cool water because the purpose of the conditioner is to provide that moisture back into your hair that was stripped during the shampoo process. So the way that we're going to lock in that moisture that the conditioner gave was by rinsing out with cool water. This is going to close her follicles. Now that she's rinsed out her conditioner, she's going to bring out her oil treatment again. She's only going to use a little bit of the oil treatment, but she's going to apply, while her hair is still damp, she's going to apply the oil treatment to her hairline. The reason why I'm telling her to apply the oil treatment to her hairline is because her flare-ups are frequent around her hairline. So I want to make sure that she is showing some attention to her hairline. Now, while her hair is still damp, again, she applies the oil to her hairline and then she proceeds to part her hair into 4 sections and then goes into detangle again, and then she's going to blow dry. Now that we've gone over the actual regimen that I ended up putting my client on, I do want to do a quick disclaimer. When you receive the actual package, you'll have an envelope listed inside of the package, and inside the envelope is the regimen. It's literally detailed. When I say detailed, I mean detailed. Step by step, letting you know how to use each of the products. The reason why I stated in the beginning of the video, we put her on this regimen for at least 60 days or at least 30 days was because when it comes to your hair, it's gonna take time in order for you to see a change. It's not gonna be a case where I tell you to use the product and then tomorrow you see a change within your scalp. That's not the case. You have to be consistent in exactly what it is that you're using for at least 30 days, sometimes 60 days in order for you to see results. The way that I was able to see what was working for her and what wasn't working for her was because after I put her on the regimen, I let her know, hey, can you take pictures of your scalp on day 1, day 2, and day 3, just so I can see how your flare-ups are visually. So therefore I can pinpoint where we need to tweak your regimen. What I'm going to do, just so you guys can see visually how I was able to examine and analyze her actual journey when it came to controlling her scalp condition, I'll show you guys exactly how her flare-up looked on day 1, how her flare-up looked on day 2, and how her flare-up looked on day 3. Again, she has to be as much hands-on as I am when it comes to figuring out exactly how we can go about controlling her scalp condition. Because I'm not able to be with her 24/7, really the majority of the time she had to be the one paying attention. And then once she would come in for her appointment, I would go ahead and ask her questions and see how frequent was your flare-up within this time frame that you saw me, because she was on a regimen to see me every 2 weeks. So she would see me twice a month. And during those 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, I would always ask her, how often was your flare up? Do you have the picture of your flare up? Text me the picture of your flare up so I can see and let me know, how was it on day 1? How was it on day 2? How was it on day 3? Slowly but surely, as we continued on with this relationship and on with this regimen, she would say, hey, I didn't have a flare up until day 4. Hey, I didn't have a flare up until day 5. And that way I was able to pinpoint that what we were doing was working. Now that we are able to know that what we're doing is working, that doesn't mean we stop and we go back to what we were doing before. No, that means that we continue on with what we're doing, because the end goal is to make sure that we're able to control it. So therefore making the flare-ups less frequent. Because she was able to be so committed to the journey that both of us were embarking on, we are able to share the fact that she's had a success as far as controlling her actual flare-ups with her dandruff. What I don't want you guys to think is that the only thing in her regimen was the anti-dandruff system, because that wasn't it. Going back to what I stated in previous videos, there are certain things that you should do at home for a home care regimen, and then there are certain things that should be done in the salon. If you don't know by now, I don't sugarcoat anything, nor am I going to hide the process and only give you half of what's done. When she came into the salon, there were treatments that were performed on her specifically for people whom are experiencing scalp conditions. We were doing scalp and hair detoxes. We were doing scalp exfoliations. The treatments were specifically designated towards her scalp condition. So with the treatments that we were performing at the salon, on top of her actual hair care regimen at home, we were able to transform her into being on a journey to where she only had to shampoo every 2 weeks. And in that case, meaning she was able to go time without having to shampoo her hair at home. Now, if she wanted to shampoo her hair once a week, that was perfectly fine. She could, but she knew she didn't have to because of a flare-up. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how her flare-up transitioned. And not only that, I'm going to show you the proof, because you don't only have to take my word for it, you can hear it from the client as well. I'll show you the proof, whereas the text message, which will state how her journey has been with her scalp condition and how she's able to go longer periods without having to shampoo her hair. Now, this last segment I want to bring up because a lot of people do not know about this. And I'm glad that she pointed this out, because she let me know that this is something that I need to speak on. Once we were able to control her flare-ups, she noticed that and I'll show the picture too, she texted me one day, and in the text message she said, hey, I just want to ask you this question. And I'm like, sure, what's up? And I'll show you the text message. She goes, why is my skin lighter around my hairline than the rest of my face? And I had to explain to her that wherever you're having the flare-ups, that's going to cause hypopigmentation, because hyperpigmentation is when you have dark spots and hypopigmentation is when you have light spots. So she had light spots, which is hypopigmentation. Her skin is lighter. And the reason why her skin was lighter was because the flare-ups were prevalent around her hairline. What that means is, with the flare-ups being prevalent around her hairline wasn't able to get the same amount of sun exposure as the rest of her face. So as the sun was able to allow her face, the rest of her face, to become darker or have some type of color to it, the flare-ups were blocking that. It's kind of like when you go outside and you have on a bikini or you have on swim trunks if you're a male, and then you go into the sun, and because the swim trunks or the bikini was hiding that particular area of your body, everywhere else gets dark but this stays light. Same exact thing when it comes to actual flare-ups. So you can really use that concept to correlate the two. Once you go ahead and you start being able to control your flare-ups, you'll notice that the skin that was covered by the flare-ups is going to be significantly lighter than the rest of the skin on your body. So I had to explain that to her, as well as letting her know, because we're now able to control your flare-ups successfully, now when you go outside, you don't have to worry about it being a permanent thing. It's only temporary. Your skin is going to slowly but surely become the same color around your hairline as well as your face. So you won't really have to worry about hypopigmentation anymore. It's just that now that we're able to reveal your skin without the flare-up, it can receive that sunlight, that sun exposure that the rest of your face has received. Now I'm going to show you guys the actual picture of how it looks so you can have a visual. From there, I was able to answer that question, and honestly, I'll show you guys the most recent picture of her so you can see that now her hairline is the same exact color as the rest of her skin. Today, I really gave you guys a lot of information, so I know it's gonna take some time for you to really process it, but always remember, your journey is not gonna be the same as the next person's journey. I don't want you to think that the anti-dandruff system was the only thing that was used, but it was a part of the solution when it came to controlling her actual flare-ups. Now, if you're someone that is from out of town and you still want to see if the anti-dandruff system is going to work for you, you definitely can. Feel free to do that. It's just that I want you to understand the reason why we were able to control her specific condition and how frequent her flare-ups was not only because of the use of the anti-dandruff system, but also because of the use of the scalp treatments that we provide, which is also a part of the LaBelle Hair Care Pro line. Quick disclaimer, the anti-dandruff system can work with you only using it as a at-home regimen, but it depends on the scenario. It depends on the type of scalp condition that you have. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that you need a scalp treatment as well, because there are some people who have success stories using the anti-dandruff system. And if you don't believe me, go on the website and look at the reviews. And if you need further validation for it, go on our Instagram page and you'll see testimonials of people letting you know that it's helped control their flare-ups. Every person is different. Every scalp condition is different. Depending on how active or how extreme your flare-ups are, that's going to determine the correct process that you have to go about using said product. But again, I really feel like with us pinpointing the fact that there are dandruff scenarios out there as well as dry scalp, I feel like that was really perfect for us to touch upon. Even though I spoke a lot on dandruff in this particular video, I do want you to understand dry scalp is a different side of it.